This will be kind of a kind of a different mixture. This is one of my favorite mix-ups. A lot of times, when I call this one bicep, tricep, and abs. A lot of times I'll break up the biceps and triceps and do like back and biceps together, and then do triceps on a separate day. I work out 6 days a week, so there's different ways of breaking this up. I don't get in a completely set way of doing anything because I like to vary it up every once in a while. So there's different ways of doing this. Like I said, for today, I am going to do biceps, triceps, so be getting this, and this, and then I'll be hitting abs. The reason I throw in the abs is because while a muscle group that is so close to each other, these are literally the back, the pulling and the pushing for everything that is an action that moves this in any way operates that one. And anything that's pushing back away from you is operating this. I think a lot of times it's good to operate both of those equally. Um, and then since they're so close, your arms literally be getting exhausted fast. So I'll bounce to another muscle group that's easy to do while I'm basically resting, and that's abs. Abs recover quickly, and it's an easy thing to just throw in so I can do several different ones, and that's what I'll show you today. If you've got um, if you've got just the regular dumbbells, I said as far as if you just have some lighter dumbbells at the house, like I said, I know you do, you can use them to get used to several of the movements. I highly recommend getting in front of a mirror. It's not about trying to show off for yourself. It's about watching to see what you think you're doing and then versus what you're actually doing. Also recording it sometimes if you don't have a mirror. So I'm going to show you with me facing towards the mirror some of the regular dumbbell stuff to warm up with. Of course, the classic curl, which is your palm. Your dumbbells are down by your side, but as you bring them to the front, your palm is up, curled to the top, and back down. Up, and back down. There's several variances where people will go up and turn their wrist and bring them back down. That is a good variance. I find that if you do that wrong, it'll irritate that nerve in your elbow for the tennis elbow problem. So you got to be careful on that. Another one is when you're doing these, they're called hammer curls. You don't turn your wrist, you just keep them stationary and pull them up and down. Now, you'll notice if you start getting too heavy of weight, it's really good, again, to practice when no one else is around with the lighter weights and get those movements down, especially if you're not used to doing stuff. Do it at your house with the lighter weight in front of a mirror, and that way when you get in the gym, you're not trying to do too heavy, but when you get heavier weights, don't go with crazy heavy. Like, you'll notice you'll be doing stuff like this, where you're swinging it, trying to get the weight up. That gives you almost more whole core workout than it does your arms because you're literally just swinging the weight and letting the momentum swing it up. You get actual bicep engagement by being as stationary as possible, which is why I said to stay in front of a mirror so you can see it, and actually holding a position and pulling them up. Next, I'm going to show you one that does require being at the gym. It's back to using the cable machine, which I really do like. As long as the cable height is set to at least above your head, it doesn't matter if it's set parallel with your head or above, because you can adjust the angle by leaning farther forward or back down. If this was way up there or if it was way down here, it wouldn't matter. If I had one that adjusted, I'd probably have it about actually parallel with my head. But in order to adjust, just put yourself a lighter weight, especially to get used to it. grab it, pull yourself forward, keep the same foot and the same arm forward, and you're leaning into it. Try to keep this arm as parallel with the ground, and then this is where you're going to operate. Take your other arm and help to hold this stationary. Now, I happen to have a mirror that I can actually watch in, but most of the gyms, this is not located close enough to a mirror that you can see because they don't want somebody sliding over and popping it or something. So unfortunately, you're going to have to do this one from muscle memory. But hold this position, and then this is operating your triceps. So you get good tricep engagement by doing these. And then you switch out to the other one. Same leg, same arm forward. Lean into it so it doesn't accidentally rock you back. And do the exact same thing. On days like today, you'll notice I did not actually show any kind of a warm up or anything. I literally warm up almost completely with exactly whatever the exercises I am going to be performing. I just do extra lightweight for it until I get warmed up. So I'll run through doing different bicep curls, different tricep workouts without any kind of a weight, and I just do 5 or 10 reps and just warm up. So there's nothing wrong with warming up that way. Back to this exact same setup, but this, whenever you're using the cables, it'll require 2, which all the gyms always have them opposite of each other. Put yourself, again, a lighter weight on there. I'm going to throw in a ton of different variances today because, number one, it's one of my favorite days. Anything to do with biceps, triceps, and abs. So I literally have too many exercises that I can't fit them all in a day. So I'm going to show you extra ones, and you don't necessarily need to do all of those. Just vary it up. Plus, I generally work out 6 days a week. So whatever exercises I like doing for biceps, like this will be bicep curls. You get the cables, get yourself a good weight, and you just curl them in. And when I'm doing biceps, if I hit biceps again 3 days later, I probably won't do cables to do biceps again. I'll use an easy bar or a dumbbell or the regular barbells. It'll still be hitting the same muscle group, but just slightly different. Slightly different muscles are engaged with the stabilizers, and it's good to hit them at different angles. I'm going to do some of the warm-up ab stuff. I like actually using weights for abs. A lot of people think that doing 1,000 sit-ups and crunches is good. That is very good for cardio. It's not good for growing muscle. Again, you have to tear a muscle to make it grow larger. So I actually have some fat on my belly, but you can see my abs because they're tore and they're larger because I've worked them with heavier weight. But this is just warm-up stuff. So a good way to still get warmed up is to do things where it's just crunches. We'll do like that. It's an easy way to get I don't know if you can actually see me or not in that. You're going to turn, hold your legs up, and pull them. Try not to be pulling on your neck. You can actually hurt your neck by doing that. It's just a good resting spot, and it keeps your arms high enough that it gives you a little bit of counterweight. You pull. That's an easy one to do for your for engaging abs and getting them warmed up. Because later I'm going to use some weight to pull on my abs. Another great thing that I will show you, I have not at this point still even showed you um, any of the workouts using the bands. That is one of the, if you're doing stuff at home, these are great. Like if I was going to recommend anybody just buy things for their house, I would say sets of dumbbells, getting up. You don't have to get crazy high weights because they get expensive. And then sets of these. Literally, I have a set that comes with these handles and a few different sizes. I think they range from 10s up to 50 pounds on these little bands. It's very inexpensive. I think maybe $40 for the whole set. I bought them a long time ago. I really don't remember. But then I went since then, and I'll show you some of the other ones over there. And you can do different weights combined. Like this is a 50, and then this one is a 40. So it's the equivalent of doing a 90. You step on them, get them to where they're equal, and then you can do curls with them. Again, great for the biceps. And as you pull on the bands, they're unique in the way that the more you pull, the harder the resistance gets, which I like the feeling of. It gives you a lot better tension. Since we're doing triceps today as well, put one arm down as much as possible and step on this. Put this one behind your back. You're holding it with this hand and holding it up here. Here, I think I'm in the shot. I can't really see. Keep your hand behind your back and you're pressing up. This is doing exactly the same tricep engagement as when I was doing the cables over there. Switch out. Just put one arm down, step on it. Got 1 foot on there. Put this one behind your back. There are lots of different things you can come up with, and as long as it doesn't hurt you, literally I use bands for all kinds of stuff. I'll show you. This is my band selection over here. And like I bought these by themselves at Dick's Sporting Goods. You get like these larger ones. And even those, like I said, it takes up no space in your house. And they're literally like $17 for one of the bigger ones. I don't remember exactly, but really the bigger they go, the more expensive they are. But they're very, very affordable. And you can, everything that I have in bands over there probably adds up to less than $100. Now I'm going to show you one of my 2 favorite ab workouts to actually build abs. This is my cable machine. Now in the gym, it will require a little more setup, and it does require having access to the gym again. You want something, if most of the gyms have a comfortable enough pad right here that you don't have to put these, I put these auxiliary pads on here to give me more knee comfort. Those 2 dumbbells are literally just to stop my pads from sliding. So if you've got a good cushion down here, you don't really need the dumbbells or that pad. This, on the other hand, I do recommend. Now, when I'm at the gym, I'll take some of those, some of the pads that you lay out to do sit-ups and stuff. They're rolled up, so you can use that and just lay it down here. I just have an extra foam that just happens to be laying around, so I use this at my house. What that does, you'll see when I get in position, is hold my ankles up so that everything else is comfortable, and that I'm focusing on abs. Just put some weight on there and use these rope. It's you'll see in just 1 second. I'm gonna try to position this where you can see anyway. I assume you'll be able to see me there. So now you can see this is holding my ankles up so that everything's comfortable back here. What I do is I bring my hands down and I lock them in beside my head. And all you're wanting to do is focus on curling and engaging abs. This is something that'll get heavier and heavier on the weight. Once you get familiar with this, you can also vary it and do kind of like I was doing on the crunches, where you'll take one elbow and go to your knee, the other elbow, and alternate. But I'll get the weight heavy enough that I'll have to add weight back here to keep me from lifting off the ground, because once you build up that core enough, it can be strong enough to lift yourself up. So once you get that built and you want to build stronger abs, you'll see me taking some weights and I'll lay them across my legs back here, and that will keep me grounded so that once I'm going down, now I won't be sitting up and doing this. That's not the workout. The workout is keeping everything else stationary and just curling so that you make sure you feel the pull on your abs. All right, this is another easy one that's at the gym. You can just take any barbell and go over to a squat rack, something that's got the bars that stick out for people that are doing different, usually it's for doing, um, they'll generally call this entire setup a squat rack. Anyway, set them again to where when you're standing up, they're not quite touching. That way everything's out of your way. I go down, grab yourself, and you can vary your grip as well. For me, I'm going to go about right here for today. And just isolate that movement with going up. The biggest reason for having that in place is in case you're not overly sure about your grip, or if you feel like you might mess up, you have those there so you don't drop it all the way to the ground, that you can just do this and it's done. It literally just requires you to be like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. But that's a good way to not embarrass yourself at the gym. This is planning for just in case. So again, they have other things called the easy bar. The only difference between the easy bar, usually they weigh a little bit less. Like this, a standard barbell is going to be 45 pounds with no weight on it. Until you're very familiar, I wouldn't even add weight. I would just go with the standard 45 and then work your way up after that. But an easy bar, this is an easy bar. The difference is you have a few grips on here, and obviously it's bent. You grab here, it turns your wrist where it's more comfortable. Generally, these only weigh like 20, 25 pounds. Different gyms have different weight ones. But when you do them, it changes your grip position, which slightly rotates what muscle group is engaged. You can do these on a preacher curl bench as well, which I'll show in a different video. I don't have time to fit them all in today, but you can do those again, just like on the dumbbells. Try not to be so heavy that you're having to rock it. Do it like that. Now there's nothing wrong with once you're totally good at this, overweighting it and doing that, as long as you feel like you're really wanting to rip a few out and pull everything, but to get the most out of it, try to make sure that the weight is something that you can comfortably stay back in position and try to isolate and pull up and roll down. With an easy bar, you can even do different grips, like it's designed to still be able to hold in here. Your hands will be in here close. You'll be pulling them in. Some people are stronger with their hands closer, just like on pull-ups and push-ups. Some people are stronger with their arms farther apart. If you do a really light weight, I emphasize going on a light weight, you can do the overhand grip, where you turn your hands down, and then you're pulling them like this. That's an easy way of engaging slightly different muscle group again. But if you were doing 40 pounds on each side before a regular curl, you need to drop that down to like 10s, because it's very easy for you to lose grip this way, especially if you started sweating and your hands are going to be slippery. This is just something that's very good to throw in with a lighter weight. But whatever weight you do on a standard curl, make sure that if you're doing the overhand grip, you reduce that weight area. This is called a GHD machine. They look almost always the same, the one here in the white and the black. They're very good for more than just the GHD machine, and I'll show you what I use it more often for than even a GHD machine. Hopefully that's a good position where you can see. The machine is designed to do this. You get a setting that's comfortable for you on distance. That holds you in, and you're supposed to do these. It's for basically engaging the GHD, your glutes and hams, deltoids, I guess is what the D is for. Anyway, it's for doing this. And again, you can grab a weight and hold it on your chest and engage more core. But you're really just working your back muscles and your leg muscles. That's not what I'm doing today. I use it in reverse. So you can go till it's at least flat, or you can go a little more. If you feel like you might possibly hurt your back, don't do that. I'm fine, and I know I am, so I'll go past and bring it up. And this is very good to work your abs. If you do that and you decide to start adding more weight, you can do things grab yourself a medicine ball. There's all different types of, in the gym, there's slam balls, medicine balls, stuff like this that you can put, and you hold it behind your head. I generally like to keep my hands on the sides of my head, just like I do on the cable pulls over there. And that way it keeps the weight isolated. I guess I should also talk about breathing. Most workouts, you try to inhale as you're not engaging the muscle and exhale on like the press or the engagement. When you're working abs, a lot of times you actually do hold your breath and try to tighten up your core as much as possible. So when I'm going down, I will sometimes still take the breath in, but you will hear my breath stop as I'm coming up because it helps to engage. So I breathe out as I'm coming up. I personally at my own house have made this set of weights because, again, I told you I like doing the abs and the other stuff. This is something that I made with I just took some of the spare random parts I had laying around. These are some of the straps for grip. It keeps everything in a good position and I stay locked in, and that's how I do them. You won't find all of this random stuff at the gym, but as long as you're keeping anything above your head and locking it in, it's good. So I don't know if you can hear my breath on there or not, but again, I'm engaged in basically holding my breath until I get through the full movement, and I'm basically exhaling as I get to the top. I'll do it one more time. A wonderful piece of equipment to use on a day where I'm doing triceps, biceps, and abs is any of these. I'll call them a Roman chair when they're set up like this, or just any dip bars. You can do this. Every gym has these for a fact. There's several different things. Number one, for engaging triceps, you do actual dips, and it depends on how you lean as to what part is engaged. Try to go down not so far that you're hurting your shoulders. Make sure your range of motion is comfortable. But that engages your triceps, and you're pushing yourself. This chair is designed for doing this. Sit back, and for doing things like knee ups, which will get your core and works your abs well. You can do the L sits where you're bringing your legs up. If you don't have that portion, you can hold yourself and do knee ups. This isn't as hard as it looks. The leg lifts back there, that actually takes more. A lot of times you'll be facing this way too, so I'll show it just in case it helps.